Hello, guys. Thanks for popping in today. I wanted to go over something that I discovered. Um, and so I had to go hunt around and I found there's four copies of looks like something that Epstein was trying to get his story out there. Hello, Wishful She Devil, Muppet Angela. Big notification. Thank you guys for being here. Uh, And I just wanted to make sure that I had like the most recent or all the copies. And I found four copies of this 7-page, I guess, testimony. Oh my God, is my volume jumping around like crazy? I don't know what's going on with my microphone. I apologize. Hey there, Angelfish. Hey, Chucky. Hello, Denise. How are you? So yeah, we're looking at it ends up being a 7-page document, but here I guess I should share it with you guys. Oops, wrong screen. Give me a second. Bear with me. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday. I know I don't like Mondays. So much happens on a Monday. Okay, so let me share this with you. Do. Okay. So, I think you guys can see that. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you guys. Ooh, can I make myself smaller? Mm. Any hoozle, I think you can see that. Um, Ruh-roh. As you can see here, well, it's 7 pages. Let me see if I can get my scroller bar to work. Yeah, so it's 7 total pages. But what I found, what is going on with this stupid microphone? Anywho, that I found one document only had 3 out of the 7. So it looks like it was where he started and then he continued, or maybe it was different saves of the same document. I'm not really sure. It's kind of interesting. Let me see if I can fix my microphone. I don't know if it's getting really loud for you guys or not, but my volume seems to be jumping all the way up. So do not automatically adjust. Let's go there and there. We'll see if that works. Otherwise, I might just be blowing your eardrums out. I don't know. I hope not. So I'm going to go ahead and what I wanted to do was compare to see if there were any edits that had happened. And where's the scrolly thingy? There you are. So we'll zoom in a little tighter. I went through and I did not find any, but I just wanted to show you guys so that you have it for yourselves that there were no edits to the document. The only edit that I found was some redactions that happened on the last file. So as you can see here, I'm going to turn these layers on so you can see. So if I remove this, nothing changes. I mean, throughout the entire document, really nothing changes that I can tell. Not even punctuation or correcting any spellings or anything. So it's pretty consistent all the way through. Hey, Squid, how are you? Is my volume up too loud? It's going crazy and it won't stay still. So if I'm blowing everybody's eardrums out, let me know. maybe I've got a weird audio setting. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Oh boy. Okay. So I thought maybe we could just read through this so we can hear what this Yahoo had to say for himself. Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Can you guys see that? Do you need me to zoom in closer, or do you care? Do you just want me to read to you? Because I can do that. Maybe get it a little bigger. Uh-oh. Wrong screen. I think you guys can see that now, right? Right? Right, Michael? Right? Oh, brother. Now I can't see you guys. Okay. It says, I have up until now not told my side of the story. I was advised by attorneys and PR people to just stay quiet and it will all go away. I have received the same advice for 5 years now. So that would tell me that, let's see, he was incarcerated, I guess, 2008. So this would have been 2013. I guess he was the investigation started in 2005. So I don't know exact date of this. So not really sure on the time frame at all. Oh, you want me to put it into Speechify? Oh, well, I would have had to have prepared for that. And I did not. So I realize my silence is now causing collateral damage to my friends and other innocent bystanders. The time has come to let the hounds of investigative reporters loose on those that, driven by money, have made false claims, concocted malicious fabrications, and have expanded their fictions now to include others in my orbit. Right, Michael? I was investigated for soliciting underage girls, to be precise, girls under the age of 18, who were brought to my house by their close friends, worked in local massage parlors. West Palm Beach has scores of massage parlors, happy ending places that I guess routinely advertise in the same local papers that have chastised my behavior, or strip clubs. See Palm Beach Post Classified. I am and have always been a bachelor. I have used massage parlor girls, licensed massage therapists, and girls with no massage experience. I have never ever used forced coercion or, in fact, had intercourse with any of these girls. Huh. When the police investigated me, went through my garbage, searched my house, they found sex toys, no cameras or camera equipment. Nothing, in fact, out of the ordinary from many homes of single men. There were never any photos of underage girls, never. A careful reading of any law enforcement document makes that clear. Really? The camera that was referred to in the search warrant was the camera installed in the house with the help of the local police to catch my houseman, John Alessi, the same houseman mentioned in many articles. He was breaking into the house and stealing money after being fired. The camera caught him in the act. These cameras were the only cameras at the house, security cameras. I can hear it spiking. Does it keep doing that to you guys? It's driving me crazy. I can hear it. Urgh. So, no, still good, I guess. Okay. I'll keep going. The local state attorney, after conducting an extensive investigation and interviewing the girls herself, a sex crimes prosecutor with over 13 years' experience and who had herself authored the more tough legislations dealing with sex crimes, said in her own words, there were no real victims here. The girls knew they were going to a house in Palm Beach. They had their boyfriends or family members drive them to the house and wait outside. They then encouraged their friends to go. Many of the girls interviewed were in their mid-20s, some in their early 30s, and some younger than 18. The girl that the newspaper had referred to as a 14-year-old told the police that she had repeatedly told me that she was 18. She was a senior in high school. Like many of the massage parlor girls, and in her own words to the police, said the reason she said that was that she was told that if she didn't, Mr. Epstein would not let her in the house. These reports are available. That's funny. I haven't seen those reports. The state attorney offered me to take a plea to aggravated assault with only probation. My attorneys told me that it would be a forever blight on my record and I should refuse the deal. So I did. The state attorney, Barry Krisher, took the unusual step of bringing the facts before the state grand jury. In Florida, this happens most often in capital murder cases, not prostitution in someone's own home. To be certain that the public would not criticize the outcome, the state grand jury was given all of the evidence and return a verdict of solicitation of prostitution. Solicitation, a no registrable offense that carried with it a sentence of mandatory. Bear with me. Let's see. Probation, mandatory probation. One of the few statutes that has such a designation. This charge, however, was met with great disdain by the local police chief. He believed something untoward had gone on for the grand jury to return such a mild verdict after his department had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars examining the behavior of a resident that rarely left his house. Girls seemed to come and go, girls of all ages. Some masseuses interviewed were in their 60s, some were men. The police chief, unhappy with the decision of 12 Florida citizens that weighed the evidence, took the unprecedented step of releasing the raw police reports to the press. The raw sewage of an investigation not corroborated, or it turned out not even transcribed from the actual interview tapes correctly. Before a plea deal, I lost my spot. Before a plea to the indictment was entered and the case was still open, he released the reports and then sent a letter off to the parents of some of the girls, and to the FBI asking for their assistance. Only 2 days after the grand jury decided that I should only be charged with solicitation of prostitution, not underage girls, not pimping, but using prostitutes as a John. I received my first federal subpoena. What resulted after a 13-month investigation and can be read in my non-prosecution agreement was the federal government threatened me with a 50-page indictment alleging that I had broken federal law, though all actions took place in my home in Florida. The girls were from Florida and no interstate travel took place. The AUSA said that my secretary had made telephone calls to the girls. Many of those calls were return calls, and the use of the telephone by my secretary to confirm massage appointments was equivalent federally to some guy surfing the internet. Knowing full well that the person on the other end of the connection was underage and trying to coerce them into some illegal sex activity. The internet luring statute says that someone uses the means of interstate commerce, in my case as a phone, to knowingly coerce underage persons into sex. This was the first time in history that this statute would be stretched, twisted beyond all recognition in an attempt to threaten prosecution. I had hired Ken Starr, former Solicitor General, Alan Dershowitz, law professor, Roy Black, trial attorney, Joe Whitley, former Assistant Attorney General, and Guy Lewis, former U.S. Attorney in South Florida, to defend me against what each one of them had said was no federal crime. Ken Starr wrote a brief using a federalism argument that was clear that my crime of being a John could not be a federal crime. To no avail, what the federal government required was as follows. They required that my defense team, not the feds, but my team, go to the state attorney, ask that he up my charge to a pimping charge, a charge that carried with it sex registration. They would not give him the facts to support that charge or give me evidence that they said they had, that I had, under Florida law, received money from these girls to offer them out as prostitutes. Florida is very clear that the pimp must have the financial benefit from the crime. Well, I mean, let's hear them out. Let's hear it out, Squid. It would be our responsibility to ask the state attorney to up my charge and agree to sentence me to 18 months in jail and a year of house arrest. In the history of the state attorney's office, they have no other instance of someone requesting a higher charge than the grand jury decided and a harsher penalty. Hello, Sally Sue. In addition, the federal government would require me to pay a minimum of $50,000 to each girl on a list of girls that they would choose. A list that would be, bear with me. So this is, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the other pages so I don't have to. Oh, they are on. Okay. That seems weird. Seems like something's missing. Oh, okay. That's why. All right. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. User error. User error. Kept secret and no names. Yeah. Oh, no names on their list would be disclosed to me or my attorneys until I was already firmly in a jail cell. A list that we would not only be obliged to pay money to, but if any one of the girls did not accept the $50,000, I would be required to pay an attorney chosen by the government to represent the girls to enable them to sue me, and I would have to pay their attorney fees. I would be given the names after being in jail, not be allowed to appeal this deal, pay girls, some of whom I never even met. And if I choose to fight this deal, I would be threatened over and over with being in breach of my agreement. The attorney chosen hired his own daughter, a sitting state prosecutor who received special leave to represent these girls. And though she continued to receive her state salary, billed me over $800,000 in a period of a year to represent girls suing me. When my side raised objections, we were told that if we fought this, the government would declare a breach and indict me. The AUSA actually files an affidavit with the court that stated that the protection from the government that Epstein, though he bargained for, really is illusory. We can always bring a case against him for the lifespan of any girl we think has been a victim. Yeah, you're waiting for that line. Code 12, code 12. Am I too loud? Not sure what that means. After serving my sentence, I was sued by many girls on the government list. During many of the depositions taken in those cases, the girls admitted to the following. They had many other clients. They got paid thousands of dollars a week to work in the local massage parlor, sex club. They kept their list of Johns in their Bible. They had abusive boyfriends, abortion, way before they ever met me. And though they claimed sexual assault abuse or sex assault abuse and various other sex claims, most later brought their best friends to the house who also claimed the same abuse in hopes of getting money. With what the newspapers called a dream team, each and every lawyer, when they say the result of the negotiations, said with incredulity, I can't say that word, incredulity, there we go. We have never seen anything like this before. I had never left my house. The girls had not traveled on my planes or to another state. I had never made money off of these girls. I was a consumer of prostitution, a John. The government said that they could invoke a statute for travel for the purpose of sex. The tourist who had signed on to fake sites advertising sex with minors in Cambodia, Thailand, and other third world countries, the government said that they could charge me with traveling to Florida to have sex with underage girls, even though sex with 16-year-olds is legal in New Jersey. And Pennsylvania, and sex with 17-year-olds legal in New York. They suggested that they would indict me for traveling to Florida for the purpose of having sex with minors. Wow. Just wow. Okay. Notwithstanding the fact that I had a home in Florida for 15 years, regularly traveled to see my brother, mother, and business associates, they said that they thought a novel application could at least get me indicted, unless I took the state plea deal. I had little choice. The crimes they alleged, no matter what the likelihood of success, carried with them minimum mandatory 10-year sentences. A rec- I recognized that I am not a sympathetic figure, and I had to decide whether to risk a jury trial that would see an older man and young woman that would be paraded in Sunday school outfits for a trial. Really? Okay. Well, that's probably true. Oh, and here's one of the file numbers, but there's 4, and if you I'll try to put it in the description if you wanna go and look, but you can literally go and just type in the first sentence, and it'll pull up all of the documents. Uh, let's see. I have showed poor judgment in the past and have paid a heavy price for those mistakes. I had hoped to move forward with my science philanthropy and helping those less privileged than myself. Then came Scott Rothstein. Scott Scott Rothstein was the senior partner of RRA. He is currently serving a 50-year prison sentence for perpetrating the largest fraud in South Florida's history. He decided that since sex allegations made against me could be used to fleece hundreds of investors out of hundreds of millions of dollars, he recruited Brad Edwards, a small time Fort Lauderdale attorney who had access to some of the girls on the government list. Scott forged judges' signatures, hid behind attorney client privilege, secretary of legal or secrecy. I'm not sure what he was trying to say there. Secrecy of legal documentation, work product, cover letter, giving illegal investigative activity the protection normally reserved for lawyers and their legitimate clients. Yeah, perpetual victimhood here. He told investors that I had settled cases with him for hundreds of millions of dollars, but the girls wanted their money now. If they gave him $30 million now, he could give it to the girls who wanted to remain anonymous, and they would go off to the sunset, and the full payment would be made to the investors. Investors that would be getting 50 to 100% return on their money for taking advantage of the same girls who allegedly I had come in contact with. Bill sure. Anyway, an attorney in Broward has filed a 147 complaint against Scott Rothstein and the firm. Uh, is the volume doing it again? Sorry. The attorney for the girls, aware that I would be loathed and involved innocent friends in problems that were strictly of my own making, subpoenaed names and tried to smear any friend whose name appeared in print previously. They contacted Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, David Copperfield, innocent bystanders with no knowledge of any of my actions whatsoever. I settled the cases rather than forcing both the girls and others to be subject to a public questioning of their lives. It appears that the Rothstein firm had con- continuing help from the government throughout their civil litigation. Emails received as a result of a recent subpoena show descriptions such as received info from current FBI agents. The former Rothstein partners subpoenaed my attorney for all correspondence regarding my plea with the U.S. attorney. Though highly unusual, the government sided with the attorneys and agreed we needed to produce all our correspondence from them to my attorneys. During the civil deposition of my former houseman, Alfredo Rodriguez, attended by a new attorney from the Rothstein firm, whose name appears on the record as Cara Holmes, Cara Holmes, also appears as Carolyn Holmes, also appears as Cara Holmes with K. The houseman allegedly said that he had stolen a book from my house with telephone numbers in it that the government wanted. I think I've seen that interview. This was in July of '09. I believe that the attorney went to the outside counsel, Kendall Coffey, and asked whether or not they could buy the book for the $50,000 that the houseman had asked for it. 3 months later, my houseman was set up in a sting by the FBI and the same. Hey, Roy, how are you? The AUSA that had headed my prosecution, it appears that using a lawyer from the RRA firm, Brad Edwards, as a confidential informant for the government, at the same time that Scott Rothstein was using me and my allegations to fleece his victims, the U.S. Attorney's Office was sitting in the Rothstein offices planning a sting operation while right next door, Scott Rothstein was making off to Morocco in an attempt to flee the country. Alfredo Rodriguez was prosecuted by the same AUSA and received an 18-month sentence. However, it also appeared that on the very same day of his sting arrest, he bought an illegal gun and was later sentenced to 4 years in prison. Who is Kara Holmes and what was her role in RRA is still a mystery to us. Us. Okay. She appears to be a former FBI agent out of Chicago office. She joined the Rothstein firm in May of '09 and joined the Florida bar at the same time. She attended depositions of my pilots and my house band. She communicated regularly with Brad Edwards and the investigators on my case. The email traffic is extensive. The telephone book that he had stolen from my house was then turned over to the same attorneys who had been told they could not buy it as they would have been buying stolen property. Oh, hey, Elfie. How are you? Let's see. Now I lost my spot. Oh, there you are. Brad Edwards, the former partner of Scott Rothstein, then used the purloined, interesting word, book to send out letters to everyone in the book, asking for additional stories of my wrongdoing in the past 5 years. With the hope of getting new clients, the letter was structured so as to circumvent the ethical rules regarding trolling for clients. While I was serving my sentence, I guess my lawyers were able to come see me. Only 2 months after being incarcerated, my in house lawyer came to see me to tell me that as I guess we're now conducting an audit of legal fees paid to date, they had discovered that Gerald Lefcourt, my primary attorney, had taken out cash to the tune of $800,000 that, according to his own accountant, he was not entitled to. He had simply prepared invoices that said, please pay another 100K or 200K, though he had been asking on multiple occasions to substantiate the bills. His response would be, we are working full time for you. I pointed out that his was not the only firm, but he said, would you like me to quit? He eventually returned over 400,000 over a period of time as he said that his cash flow could not handle the strain. He said that he was still owed for things like taxi fare, coffee, and donuts, detailed for $2.53. He would keep 400,000. Hmm. I was told that I should hire Guy Lewis, a former U.S. attorney in the Southern District. Guy is a Southern style gentleman, white suits, fast cars, said that he had a great relationship with the current U.S. attorney, Alex Acosta. Felicia, you said Rothstein was a partner with Kuznick in Plantation, Florida, disbarred in 2009, subsequently sent to prison for a Ponzi scheme. His 50-year sentence and story. He is weird now in witness protection. Huh. Interesting. current U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta and the people in Washington that would potentially need to review whatever happened in South Florida. He wanted a 100,000 per month retainer, and with his partner Mike Teen would represent me. Upon review of his background, it was suggested that he might now have the credibility that he had represented, and rumors were that he had been asked to leave DOJ for inappropriate billing. I told him in no uncertain terms that, wait for it. Oh, sorry, watch your eyes. Okay. Scrolling. It's a lot of name dropping. Yes, it is wishful she devil. Yes, it is. It's not going down alone. If this were true, he would need to tell me as he was representing my credibility with the government. If he had been asked to leave, it would dramatically hurt my chances if it were he making my case to senior officials. He swore up and down, as Southerners are apt to do, that there was no truth whatsoever to the allegations. Being charged with an untrue allegation rang close to my heart, and I chose to side with Guy. Only after my incarceration, when Guy and Mike came to see me in a 9 by 10 attorney room that smelled like urine, and I told them that I was now being sued by many of the girls on the government list, they expressed their regrets and their willingness to help. However, as they walked out down the dungeon like hall with the sound of clanging gates in the background, God, did Laura Owens write this? What is happening? Oh, Rothstein is also in witness protection program. Huh. People have a tendency to evaporate in this case. Uh, so Kira told them that I was now being sued by many of the girls on the government list. They expressed their regrets and their willingness to help. However, as they walked down the dungeon like hall with the sound of clanging gates in the background, they were unaware of the security cameras and microphones throughout the hallway. They chose to high five one another on camera and smile with the comment that this would be a couple of more years of fees. The guards at the jail, accustomed to some of the most heinous physical crimes imaginable and hardened against most of humanity's foibles, were caught off guard by the exhilaration of the potential of more fees. Sex for money, a sensitive subject. Yeah, credibility. The reactions range from Andrew Dworkin, the feminist who considers all intercourse a form of rape, man inserting his authority, to Jackie Mason, that posits that when a man takes a woman for dinner, many times his real motivation is the hope of receiving sex at the end of the evening. He suggests it is hypocritical for the man to be able to pay the florist for flowers, the doorman for getting a cab, the restaurant for the food, the liquor store for the gift of wine, but can't pay the only person that performs the actual sex act without committing a crime. Yes, I had sex for money. I am a John. Yes, I understand that prostitution is a crime and a crime that very few Johns have even gone to jail for. I am aware that there are strong feelings amongst many people regarding that crime. Many countries have legalized it. Some states have legalized it. Um, what now? Oh, being a John, I guess. Hmm. It may have a policy of no enforcement. Many countries have, yeah, okay. New York City has escort services that openly advertise, massage parlors that have neon signs in Midtown. In actual fact, the crime of sex for money at the time of my transgressions was under Penal Code 230, equivalent to that of jaywalking unless the girl was under 15. Yes, under 15. That was in New York. In Florida, the age of consent is 18. Misrepresentation of age is not considered a defense, even if the girl worked in a sex establishment where one has to prove age to work, was met in a bar where the drinking age is 21 or shows ID that appears to be valid that she's over 18. The state attorneys who deal with this sort of crime on a regular basis reviewed the case brought by the local police and said in no uncertain terms that there were no real victims in the Epstein case. No real victims, their words. They said that the girls knew that what they were doing. They brought their best friends after being there a number of times, and how could there be a serious crime? The AUSA decided that she would protect the young women of Palm Beach. She sees a need for child safe everywhere she looked. Okay. She had been chastised twice by local. All right, this is the end. Twice by judges for hiding information from the court, misleading the court, and had a supervisor represent her in front of a judge that would have disciplined her. Her first subpoena to me asked for my tax returns, my medical records, my phone book, my plane logs. The girls came to my house. I usually exercised every day, followed I guess it's by a massage. Most of the time, I would be on the telephone when a girl was brought into the room. Many times they rubbed my feet or back. I never spoke to them at all because I would be on the phone. The room was dimmed, and often I would not even see the girl. If not on the phone, I would talk to the girl. No real sex, interesting words. Most girls testified they never touched my genitals at all. Never. These depositions were taken as a result of the government supported civil suits against me. And that's where it ends. Yeah. No real sex. What does that mean? Well, I guess I can't ask him because he's dead. So that's in his own words. Now, I did find that there was an email in the grouping. Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. Remove that. Image file. The only accompanying email I could find, did I not save it? Hang on, sorry. Still looking. Let me see, date modified. I have too many files in my Epstein folder. It's not good. It's not good. Where'd everything go? I swear I just downloaded it. Interesting. Oh, okay. Well, let me see if I can pull it up this way then. Sorry about that. I already had it open somewhere else because that's how it works. Hey, Jay, thanks for the gifted memberships. How are you doing? Give me just a second so I can get this pulled up. Share screen. Window. Okay. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. I do. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So this email is from June 6th, 2011. Let's see. Oh, this is not the right one. This is from Stephanie. Where is it? I swear I had it. I swear. Where? Oh, where? It's one of those days, people. One of those days. So if I go here, look at my history. If you received one of those gifted memberships from Jay, please be sure to say thank you. He works hard-ish for his money. I'm just teasing you. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Okay, here, I've got it. I found it by Scott. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to go to the start of the email instead of trying to read it backwards. Let's see. There's a lot of redactions, but this is the most complete version of this email that I could find. There's disclaimer saying that this information belongs to Jeff Epstein. If you get it by mistake, don't open any attachments, which I think is hilarious. Um, mm, 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 mm. Let's see. Where does it start? Okay. We've got from Paul Tweed to Omar. I can't see his whole name, his entire name. Kathy Matthews, James Bates, Mike Citrick, maybe, I guess, about London proceedings, which I'm not sure what that's getting at, but please find attached press statement that I would propose releasing at the beginning of next week to the media on this side of the Atlantic, subject to your approval. Paul. Paul, I never got the memo regarding Epstein. He is asking about it. Think you will have it today? Thanks, Mike. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Mike, I had sent the attached email to you earlier. Having considered the matter further, I believe there would be some merit in considering a suitably crafted letter to the Daily Telegraph, who, as one of the more respected broadsheets, is more likely to be amenable to the publication of a clarification retraction than the tabloids. We can also give consideration to a complaint to the PCC, although I have found them to be somewhat spineless in the past. However, you could let me have the additional information outlined in my earlier email. We can give further consideration to our strategic options. And they're basically talking about buying some time or like trying to get his story out there. Hey, Grumpy, Cynthia. Let's see if I missed anyone. Auntie M. Hey, Auntie M. Good to see you. You could probably be in content for a decade just looking at the name players involved. Yes, yes, that is true, Volusia. Very true. From Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, I am a registered sex offender. Florida age of consent is 18. There is no allegation of sexual intercourse. All girls over 16. Charge was a girl who was 17 and 3/4. You disgusting. Mike, should we consider buying 30 to 60 minutes of TV time so that I can tell my side of the story? Be sure it is unedited. Have an interviewer. I am now a public figure. What's separate from the lawyer's view is my downside. Mm-mm. TV time is a good idea. Oh, is an interesting one. TV idea is an interesting one. I also want to explore some internet options. Mike, call me over the weekend. And then Jeffrey says, sure. So, yeah, he's a pig. I mean, even if you can think to yourself, yeah, well, 16, it's totally legal. And I guess New Jersey or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't know. Pennsylvania. I don't know. Like, it's so gross. This guy's just disgusting. Hey, WTF, what's going on? What's going on? Let me stop sharing that. What is happening? It's so weird. I did have one other thing I wanted to show you guys. There's a bunch of files that are showing up in dataset 10 as images not produced. So I'm going to share something with you quickly. Let me see. Pretty sure it should be there. Okay, that's not the one I wanted to share. Image, this one. Okay, so if you go to the DOG, finally a stream not about me. I think it is a good thing. Yes, yes. So if you go to the DOJ website to look up the Epstein files, and you can type in this no images produced, you have to get into data set 10, and there's a glitch in the matrix over there. Apparently, you need to change your uh, the file extension from PDF. If you look at this, I changed it to an MP4, and then the videos appear. They are redacted, at least the ones I've discovered so far, but I'm not going to do it live with you guys because of the fact that something might not be. It's been known to happen with this data set, so I don't want to expose anything unintentionally. But if that's something you wanted to dig around, and most of these are going to be MP4s, movies, so you could change it to an MP4 or an MOV if that doesn't work, and then also like a WAV or an MP, I think an MPA is another one. So if that's something you're interested in doing, go for it. Again, it's something I don't feel comfortable sharing, especially on a live, simply because of the fact that if something pops up that I can't take back. So, and probably can't delete it fast enough, right? Anywho, that's what I've got for you, lovely people, this afternoon. Um, I guess that's really all I have to say. Just wanted to pop on and go over this because I think it's interesting to hear how he described his crimes. Now, do I believe it? No. Do I find it odd that he had to somehow exonerate Bill Clinton and Trump? I mean, and depending on the time frame, I'm not even sure that Trump was even a candidate when this went out because that was 2011. That email was in 2011. So it's interesting, right? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know why he would specifically name those. Now, I do know that David Copperfield was out there quite a bit to Palm Beach, so maybe they were friends, possibly. But basically, he's saying that he hired girls who pretended to be older to do jobs, without asking for, any sort of certification, whether they're licensed to do it. Anyway, there are plenty of pictures out there on him, and the list is tremendous. Yeah, Cynthia, it is. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. Yeah, it's just, and I can actually share a link to the emails, to the actual document itself, but it came off of the files, obviously, but somebody discovered it, and then I wanted to go and see how many versions there were just in case it had been edited, but it doesn't appear that it had been. There was only one name that had been redacted, and that is that Brad fella. But anywho, well, Paramount Performance, thanks for the deep dive. It looked, you looked at them, looked at them briefly. It's quite overwhelming. Overwhelming is an understatement. I think it would actually take somebody 100 years to go through it. Uh, yeah, the issue is that you don't really know when this was produced. Dates can be changed on computers. Well, and that's one thing that they're not sharing is any of the metadata, which I think would be very interesting, Cindy. Yeah. Yep. Hmm. So I would find it more interesting if we could get that data from the files too, but alas, it is not there. So, I will be sharing some other information. I think some people are talking about how they don't think it's Ghislaine that's in prison. And, you know, I found some evidence the contrary. So I want to kind of put that one out there too. But I'm going to go back to continuing the never ending list because it is absolutely never ending. And then if anybody wants to help build a spreadsheet, I could use the help. That's for sure. But otherwise, I guess you guys have a wonderful day. Let me see who's live, who I can send you to. Boop, boop, ba-doo. Yeah, I just thought I know everybody's probably watching the Corey Richins trial, but I wanted to get this out there, and I'm glad that you came to visit while I did so. Let's see. Who? Customization and redirect. Who is live? We have Ricada Law, Broken Baker, Nick Starro, Chrissy Mayer. Runkle is not live. It doesn't look like anybody else is live. Is Coop already done? Did he already shut down for the day? Circle of acquaintances and friends are always throws a layer of suspicion, but not evidence of wrongdoing. But the reality here is some gross stuff was being perpetrated. Yeah, Valisha, I agree with that. And I do think that it does boil down to the company you keep. When you've got somebody like Epstein, buddy with somebody like Woody Allen, makes you question, right? So, ew. At first, there was just a starburst, but in reality, there's a whole universe of info. Yes, Cynthia, there is a whole universe. It will take years for those to come forward. I do think that there are some people working on an AI version that's just going to work on the Epstein files to sort through them, filter through. Like I found 4 versions of this draft or of this statement that he wrote. Now, obviously, it couldn't be final. I mean, there's punctuation that's wrong. So I don't know if any language had been changed, if there was a final press release that went out or a piece that was sent out to media, but it doesn't appear that anybody picked it up. Like nobody was interested in covering it, which is probably a good thing. So yeah, I don't know. There may be more, but I thought it would be interesting to hear what his take on his story was, and he pretty much tells you he didn't have a problem having sex with 16-year-olds, which is gross. Hey Venom, how are you? Thanks for joining. I'm just about to shut it down. Okay, if eeny, meeny, miny, mo, guys, where do you want to go? No one's saying anything. Yeah, I do. I hope the victims can get help. I mean, it's one of those things that it's always going to be there. Do I think maybe there were the occasional girl that was perfectly fine being there? Sure. Sure. There's all kinds of girls that are prepared to do whatever, right? You want to go to Ricada? Okay. But it doesn't mean all of them were. You were walking the screeching dog. Gotcha. No big deal. I just wanted to read through this document. You can go back and I need to remove that. Sorry. I uh I can go back. You can go back to the beginning and see what it's all about. Plus, I'm going to try to put some links into the description. So, yeah, have a good rest of your day, folks. And let me just go ahead and finish putting this over to Ricada. All right. And you guys are on your way. Oh, wait. It isn't just girls, though. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm going to replay it. I finally started catching up on the jerky. Oh, yeah. We could go down the grape juice. Like, what grown ass men talk about grape soda and pizza parties? I mean, gross. Anyway, I still don't know what grape soda could be code for, but pizza party, cheese pizza, we know what that's code for. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.
Shorter and the past is gaining ground. Don't you freak out or fall in love. Let laughter be the sound. Why the hell not? If fun's not in your plan, laugh your way out, take a stand. Live life while you can. Laugh your way out. Don't let fear take control. Freak out, remember laughter